Hey guys, Kyle here. So, just before the show starts, I wanted to mention our Patreon. You can pay us $1 a month as a thank you, as a tip. You can pay $2 a month to get access to one of our bonus content shows, episodes 2 days early, and a secret Discord chat where all of our Patreon donors get to go and hang out and talk with us directly. Then there's a $5 tier that you can donate to get access to a whole bunch more content. We have multiple bonus episodes on there. So please check it out. Patreon.com/itgetsweird. We don't advertise, we don't make money. So check it out and throw some money if you think that would be cool. Thanks.
Welcome to It Gets Weird, our comedy show where we explore the unusual, the unbelievable, and the unexplained to try to make your world a little weirder. I'm Niall.
And I'm Kyle. And hey there, what the fuckers, what the fuckaroos, what the fucklings. What else does Mark Maron say?
What the fucklings is really
says,
a good one.
He says, what the fuck cadets?
Why
He says,
are you
"I just shit
doing
my pants."
WTF?
Well, because Niall
You
was
haven't
like...
been introduced yet. Please
oh, yeah.
please respect the podcast.
Yeah, please.
This might be the first time I've ever actually not
Yeah.
done that. I always wait, and I have to wait a long time sometimes for you guys to mention that I'm here.
That's totally fair. Point still stands. Shut up.
Respect the podcast, respect the method, and you'll get your turn here soon enough because today, so this is part 2 of our Monarch Mind Control cast.
Jules is
We're going
here.
to talk about Hollywood. So Jules, we brought in expert of Hollywood expert,
That's true.
Hollywood Jules.
It's time for the Jules Hollywood Minute.
Yeah, Jules, how do you feel about
And-
Hollywood?
Go.
Mark Maron had a lot to say on WTF this week. I bet one of his cats probably killed a bird or something.
Yeah, probably.
That's usually, if you skip about the first 30 minutes, then there was probably a decent interview where he complained about some other
Coffee's
comedian
not
or something.
Who are
strong
you guys,
enough.
though? Who are you guys?
Yeah, and he asked him who his guys are, for sure.
I did-
And then I believe he probably asked someone to lock some gates.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say that I did bring up the Mark Maron WTF thing because before the podcast started, which nobody else could hear but us, you were trying to get intros straight in your head because you manage multiple podcasts. And I was like,
Yeah.
it would be really funny if one of us confused our podcast for Mark Maron.
I'm gonna some week I'm just gonna start with them a bim bam intro and
That would be-
just roll with it. You know,
That'd be so
we're
sick.
gonna randomly do an episode. We'll have our own spaghetti-geddon and it'll be great. So this week we're gonna continue talking about Hollywood, about Monarch Mind Control. So I talked last week a lot about pop stars and kind of indoctrinating individual celebrities into these sleeper agents, into these like agents of the Monarch Mind Control system. And I was talking throughout that and about how there's a whole other wing to this thing. There's probably there's technically like a third one too about like assassins and shit, but that's a whole other thing. But
What,
this
like-
week,
We're talking John Wick or?
more like I don't know, the guy that I can't remember the name of the guy that killed John Lennon.
Mark David
Fuck.
Chapman.
Mark David
Ah.
Chapman.
Sorry, Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King, and or the guy that killed JFK, aka Shooter in the Drain. All sorts
Can
of
you
stuff.
honestly not think of his name either?
I don't.
I'm embarrassed.
I don't
for
like
you
to
right
focus on negativity, Jules. I don't remember the names of these little petty assassins.
I remember the names of every killer I've ever read about, every murderer.
the
now. I
only
remember the names of every killer I've ever met.
Yeah, that
the
too.
only name legit. Here's a shoot. The only name that was coming to mind for both of those is David Koresh, and that's neither of them. So that's where I'm at today.
That's totally fair. Now, Jules, are you like primed on the whole like Monarch Mind Control thing? And
Absolutely not.
okay, well,
Do you think I come on this podcast and I know things that you guys are talking about? No,
that's
no.
honestly way better. But I guess the short version is just that, and presumably you would have picked this up from the internet because the internet's ridiculous. But there are people out there who think that certain celebrities are mind controlled by a shadowy cabal of evil people.
I think that.
I'm inclined to believe some of it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in good hands here, but I imagine what Niall is going to be talking about, because like last time, it was all like
It was a lot about
technical details.
Lady Gaga and
Britney Spears.
Spears. Yeah.
I opened up my web browser today, and I was like trying to like organize and clean up all these tabs. I have like 20 tabs open, And I had to sit there for a good 30 seconds and be like, why do I have a Google search for Britney Spears open on here? Why did I leave that up? Turns out it was for the podcast.
We're talking a lot about Free Britney.
No, not
Well-
really. Not a lot.
We didn't talk about that, but like that is a result of a thing that basically imagine the Free Britney movement if it was like conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
It already is, but yes.
Fair, yeah.
So today, instead of talking about pop stars, we're going to go to the other side about how they're indoctrinating us all, how they're trying to control all of our minds, not just those of specific people that are celebrities.
What about people who don't watch movies?
Luddites might be free from control. I don't know.
Okay.
Although
Last
they're-
Bastion.
Maybe. So I don't know. There's probably some way they get to people that don't watch the movie, but there are like, they're like, it's really in everything, you know. It's signals through books and through advertising and through like, so even your billboards are just like, you have to kill the Malaysian prime minister.
Do you mean to tell me that Maria Menounos was exacting her dark control on me this entire time?
Yes.
Shit.
I believe she falls under Gamma programming.
I'm not going to remember which one's which.
We'll talk about it
all
later
that.
because I have
Okay.
some stuff about how some movies tie into it. So we'll get back into including some ones we didn't talk about last time that fell under the expanded scope of this thing. Because if you go away from the original, like we talked about last time, where a lot of the stuff came from, there's the original source material. And this week, we're going to get more into the the expanded universe.
Okay. All right.
So where we got to start with this week is a little bit about someone who was involved in the original programs that led to Monarch Mind Control, and that's Walt Disney. So we're going to talk a little bit about Walt Disney.
A great guy.
Just total mensch.
You might not like his movies, but you have to love his politics.
You know, sometimes you got to give it to him, you know?
Notoriously cool guy who,
Chill.
was very supportive of unions.
Super chill hang. Like,
Super cool.
got along with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loved
the Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that David Icke is also a part of a lot of has picked up on a lot of these themes for his conspiracy theories. It has nothing to do with that fact.
No.
So
No.
there are a couple sites that delve really hard into kind of Illuminati symbolism and monarch symbolism in movies, namely Illuminati Movies and Vigilant Citizen.
I know Vigilant Citizen, but
Yeah.
Illuminati Movies is a very funny
website. There's also a website that I did a lot of reading on called Freeman TV that goes into a lot of the stuff as well.
Is it Freeman or Freeman?
The F is capitalized, M is not. So Freeman. He's a Freeman.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Because the guy that writes the website goes under the pen name Freeman.
Okay.
So,
But it is kind of a play on words there, you see.
yeah, you could say it's a bit of a don-on-ton, you know?
Mhm.
So, like we talked about last time, there are people that believe that Disney was involved in the original experiments that led to the Monarch Mind Control stuff, working with the CIA and working with various government agencies that were developing these methods of mind control and the Monarch system. There are a subsection of this is the fact that both Disney parks were set up as indoctrination facilities, along with where certain rides are specifically used to induce for various programming into people so that it can fly under the radar.
Okay. Can I actually say,
Yeah, what's up?
out of all the things that we've discussed so far in this one and the last episode, Disney theme parks being a form of indoctrination is 100% a thing, I believe.
Yeah, but not for Illuminati, but for
Sure.
like
No, but like that
capitalism.
is actively
Yeah,
happening
like-
all around us.
Disney wants to own media, and they want people to have Disney as a lifestyle, and they're succeeding. And that's what I'm talking
The
about.
rise
but
of Disney as a lifestyle brand in our time is
fucked up.
It is cult-like,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So
movies aren't that good. Like they're good, they're nice.
Some of them are, yeah.
Some of them are nice. It's fine, but like, I am very much amazed by the Disney diehards.
I'm
They
sorry.
scare me.
Do you want to come for Olaf right now? Are you going to come for Olaf?
Yeah,
I've come for Olaf many a time. So
I've seen the websites.
yeah, Kyle got access to my search history.
That's right.
So supposedly the movie Fantasia was used in combination with electroshock therapies to induce dissociative personalities in people and be able to make it easier to instill programming.
Now, is it the do they primarily use the sequence of like Night on Bald Mountain, or do they use the sequence with the like pink elephants, or is that
Pink
Dumbo?
Elephants is Dumbo,
Oh, okay, my bad.
I think.
I think you're right.
The Wizard Mickey is the Wizard's Apprentice is
Yeah.
Fantasia.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm just trying to imagine like what that movie would indoctrinate you.
I've never seen Fantasia. I can't play in the
Hey,
space.
here's the thing. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Actually.
not bad.
Yeah.
No, it's actually it's a pretty fun movie.
I believe it.
If you like
I like classic Disney stuff in its way.
if you like classical music and classic Disney animation, Fantasia's not a bad time.
You know what I was just watching the other day? I found a clip of what's the something melodies? I have
Merry
it-
Melodies.
Merry Melodies. The little owl that's singing like I like to sing
Yeah.
the moon and the June.
That's
and
as
the
far you
Springer.
have to stop. That's as much you can sing before we have to pay royalties.
I used to love that little guy.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Roll that VHS back. Over and
This
over.
is my wheelhouse. I'm like loving this.
Kyle's really big into mind control. So
Yeah.
And owls.
Yeah. That's true actually.
yeah, basically, so the thought process to all of this stuff was that
You know the staircase?
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
bringing in a bunch of people into government facilities, into like military bases and stuff would be a lot more conspicuous than if they just brought people into a public theme park that has all this stuff around and you can induce programming that way. So that is the basic idea here. Now, many of the rides are designed for use in mind control and to traumatize young children, because that's a big part of the Monarch control method.
Nothing at Disney ever traumatized me, although I was very afraid to go on Space Mountain.
The dark coaster thing, there's a hump to get over that, and the first time you go on one, because you're just like, I can't see anything, I don't know what to expect, so it's like 10 times scarier. So I get that.
Yeah. And I mean, I was a little kid, but
Yeah.
most of the time
Have
I
you
was
guys
just,
both been to Disneyland?
I've been to
I went to Disney World and I can remember some of it.
Which one is land and which one is world?
Lands in California.
And world is Florida.
World is Florida.
Yes.
I went to Disneyland when I was too young to remember it.
I've been to both.
I've been to neither, so I guess I'm
Let's-
pure
Look,
of heart and mind.
Give me like another like 3 to 5 minutes, and we'll be into stuff that you will be really
Great.
into.
Well, let's go. Let's
no,
go
no,
sometime.
I was just saying like you guys are tainted.
We are,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I'm a fucking agent of the
I
Illuminati.
mean, just generally speaking, that's true.
Am I gonna like make it out of here alive?
No.
Or, shit.
This might be the last Jules episode.
Fuck.
You're
Yeah.
kind of uncovering some stuff.
And I opened it with a fucking Mark Maron bit.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's really not the best way to go out, but it's So MGM was also not free of this kind of stuff, because they developed the film that is a big like Rosetta Stone program for Monarch, which is The Wizard of Oz, along with Disney's Alice in Wonderland. These are two very big ones in the Monarch community. They love them. They gotta have them. The victims are kind of told of the phrases "over the rainbow," "there's no place like home," "go through the looking glass," "follow the yellow brick road," "follow the white rabbit." All of these things are used as like code phrases to induce programming and dissociation. And so like these are all very common in all sorts of Monarch programming documents.
Bro, what do you think they were smoking when they made Alice in Wonderland?
Do you are Pink Floyd in on this? Is that part of it?
Oh,
I haven't
forgot
come
about
across
that.
Pink Floyd, but they might. Yeah.
the synchronization of Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I hear if you listen to that, you
Have you ever done that?
I have actually.
Me too.
I don't know. Nothing happened. It was like
I do
oh.
feel like my third eye kind of opened.
I decalcified a little bit.
In
See,
its
I
way.
mine may have already been
My
decalcified at
pineal
that point.
gland.
Yeah,
I was drinking chlorinated water while doing it, so it really was a net zero on my pineal gland.
yeah. Well, my pineal gland fucking burst forth from my forehead like in From Beyond, and that
Yeah.
was so. That did happen.
Pretty cool.
But I was also smoking some stuff.
out of my gourd,
So pretty high.
when they start singing about money, there's gold on the screen or
That
whatever.
is
It's
so
fucking
true.
crazy, dude.
And when the Oompa Loompa hangs himself, they start playing gunshot samples.
Which is weird because he hung himself. He didn't.
well, it wasn't the hanging that killed him. He then shot himself.
It's not when the Tin Man pulls out a gun.
oh my God, no! The Scarecrow pulls out a gun, right?
Pulls out a gun. Yeah.
That did you know that?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So you might ask yourself, how did I get here? Now,
I wouldn't, but okay.
This is not My Beautiful Wife.
You might ask yourself, why do they use Hollywood in movies? Like, what is the purpose for this?
The eternal question in this stuff.
Basically, it's to deliver quote unquote software to our brains subliminally, and here's why. So this is just directly from a source. In everyday situations, the average eye blinks about every second or third second, which is a weird way of saying that. When watching a movie, the average user is blinking about 3 to 4 times per minute. The drastically decreased blinking rate is equivalent to having your eyes taped, as it took place in some mind control programs. The darkness of the room effectively creates a reasonably effective level of sensory deprivation. Vast intake of sugar products helps the body sustain the impact of involuntary convulsions and biochemical responses, as the nervous system is bombarded with a sequence of impulses designed to take the subconscious mind through a cathartic journey leading through trauma to gnosis, which is a state they talk about a lot. The Monarch technology is a universal method to target 4 main personality types and cultivate a basis for more in-depth hands-on mind control carried out by the right hand of the Illuminati, the secret intelligence communities.
I really feel like whoever came up with this like concept of like, oh, well, the human brain is like a computer.
Yeah.
Whoever did that has really ruined just like everything for the rest of us. Because that is simply not the case.
The beginning of the fall of Western civilization.
It really is. And I would also say, like, speaking just because we were talking about Disney a moment ago, I was thinking about like, because these are the same people who like freak out at the like, you know, sex in the dust in Lion King, or like, I think it was the
dick
great
on the cover of Little Mermaid.
Yeah, and the Great Mouse Detective. And here's the actual simple truth: animators are horny, and most animators are also perverts
And bored.
Yeah, just like bored adults at their job. Like,
Drawn dicks.
who wouldn't?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
There's one really weird one where in The Great Mouse Detective, there was a copy of that movie that actually screened, I think it was this movie, where they're like on a chase scene through the streets. And as they go past an apartment building, there is a window that has a non-2D animation like photo of a nude woman.
Hell yeah, dude.
And they put that in there because
Hell
they're
yeah.
fucking, they're freaks.
Because they were like, I've got this photo of a nude woman.
yeah.
Why
Let's see
wouldn't
what-
I
yeah,
put it in my children's
Let's
movie?
see what
why
we
not?
can get away with.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
It is.
It's not as nefarious as these people would have you think.
Why assume nefariousness when you can just assume incompetence or boredom?
Yeah.
So
Or just someone having a little giggle, a little
Yeah.
tee-hee. A little tee-hee?
doing a bit
Are you going to deprive them of a yo-ho-ho?
Absolutely not.
and a wooga. So there are all these different, we talked about last week, the different levels of programming, the different types of Monarch programming that are all set up as various letters of the Greek alphabet. So you have your alpha, your beta, your zeta, all this shit. Now, there are movies that get tied with those things, as like some movies are used to kind of get a certain programming across. So a lot of times you can kind of categorize movies by the type of programming they're meant to instill in someone. So I've got some here. Some of them are more like a type of movie or like an explanation of like a genre or whatever, and some of them are specific movies. So let's get into talking a little bit about some movies and see how you guys feel about this. So we're gonna start with one of the most just like ridiculous ones. The most like I say ridiculous, I mean like dark ones. Zeta programming, which is programming that is supposed to instill more of the acceptance of like snuff and human sacrifice type things into your life. Like basically it's stuff to make you less likely to freak out if people start performing human sacrifices around you. This typically involves vampire movies along with specific titles such as The Wicker Man, Apocalypse Now, The Brave, Interview with the Vampire, and Rules of Engagement, which I haven't seen a couple of those, but I have seen Wicker Man and Interview with the Vampire, I believe. And Wicker Man, I don't think that really impresses upon me that human sacrifice is a good thing.
No, I
gonna
don't think it
say-
seems cool at all when I watch that movie.
You see that movie and okay. sorry, maybe I was the odd man out here, but everything that was happening in that movie, I was like, this rules.
Wait, did you watch the first one or the remake?
Both.
Okay.
And I loved
And
what
you
they were doing in
like,
both of
this
them.
honks, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, no, we should be doing this in real life.
I felt like maybe slightly sexually confused by what was going on with friggin'
Which one? Nick
what's
Cage?
his name? No. The fucking Equalizer who's in the first Wicker Man. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember his name right
Not
now.
Denzel.
How
Not gonna
great would it have
remember.
been to be
We're
to
talking
pull
the
that?
original British Equalizer.
Edward something, isn't it?
Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Edward Woodward.
Edward Woodward.
Oh.
There you go.
Because I would fuck him.
I think Jules might have been watching a bit too much beta programming.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah.
That is your princess and sex slave
Well,
programming.
Woodward was a part of the sex kitten program.
Yeah.
I call Edward Woodward my princess sex slave. Rip.
So I guess since I brought it up, we'll go ahead and talk about there's various versions of the beta programming, because you have your original like seductress, princess slave, sex slave programming type stuff, but you also now
Hell
have
yeah.
the major
Yeah,
Illuminati
bro.
agenda that is activating the female spirit for a hyper assertive role, aka the femme fatale or warrior woman.
Oh, Jesus.
So you can look at stuff like Wonder Woman and various movies like that have strong female characters that kick ass, as now a new type of beta programming that they're trying to put out to us.
But wait, okay. Why?
This is to start instilling this programming so that you can be part of the underground Illuminati sex slave trade.
But do they want me to be a sex slave, or they want me to kick ass?
It depends on the movie. And if you're kicking ass, you're going to be used as like an agent to like go and do missions and shit. And if you are a sex slave, you're going to be sold to the Illuminati. So it kind of covers a wide gamut. Most of the other ones are a bit more specific than that. This one just seems to be like programming for women, which is like kind of a weirdly like broad topic.
It's obviously, at first it was like, so obviously movies are trying to program women to be sex slaves, because largely the portrayal of women in our concept of modern media is that of a domicile submissive person, right? But so then it starts to get more popular.
Then
that
Joss
you've got-
Whedon comes
I was
around.
about to say, you've got your Buffy the Vampire Slayers. That's exactly what I was about to say. And that tips the whole apple cart.
And he
it
fucking did
changes
Dollhouse. So like,
changes the whole fucking game, and you've got, what do you do with Eliza Dushku? Then it becomes, the game is actually movies are programming women to be whatever the fuck, the
Yeah.
kick-ass, what?
Oh, man. What would feminism have done without Joss Whedon?
Thank God for
Well,
that.
Thank you.
one of the best examples, it says, of a completed Monarch beta cycle in current time is Angelina Jolie, who became the Goodwill Ambassador of the UN, which is also an Illuminati organization.
Of course.
So that's like your warrior woman programming. Your other your like more like sexual programming is archetypically Megan Fox. Because I guess because she's hot.
Listen, I saw Transformers in theaters.
Yeah.
I know.
And we did watch Jennifer's Body, which is like,
I was going to say, actually, both of those examples, both Megan Fox and Angelina Jolie, have existed have a foot in both worlds of what I'm talking about, where they are hypersexualized and domicile in some movies that they were in. And then they take this turn of being, well, actually, I'm a kick-ass, I'm owning my sexuality and I have autonomy in these movies. I'm way oversimplifying, but like, you have your Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where like she is a sex kitten who shoots people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What was I going to say?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm making some
Damn
great
it.
points here, though.
No,
I'm-
I was on a roll.
I wanted to like add something legitimately, and I completely forgot.
You
Fuck.
love Transformers?
Yes, that was it. Thank you.
You wanted to, you were gonna make a joke about Bumblebee peeing on John Turturro.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
See, I know.
No, I had a question.
Okay.
That I don't know if you're going to be able to answer, but maybe you will.
Okay. Let's see.
What happens if like the sex kitten programming that's targeted at women? What if a guy picks up on it?
There is
The pussification of the American male.
no, there is like a there are male sex slaves and stuff too. It's just
sure.
like you get the because there's like a homophobic bent to all of this as well.
Yeah, that tracks.
That like basically there's like bigotry on all sides of this thing. We're gonna spoiler alert. We're gonna get into some real anti-Muslim stuff here in a little bit.
Of course.
It's just like across the board. Basically, these are afraid of anyone who's not a white dude.
Okay.
For all of this stuff.
But
So
what if a white dude? First guy I think of me.
yeah.
What if he sees like one of these like sexy
What if
ladies?
you watch a girl movie?
Yeah, what if I watch a girl movie and I'm like, wow, that really did something to me.
Like,
I want to throw it back right now.
Yeah.
Where does Charlie's Angels fall in all of this? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
That's
yeah.
probably a mixture of your beta programming and maybe a little bit of delta programming, which is kind of your more like your killer programming, which is like one of the main one. Delta program is one of the main things used by the Pentagon to create this like secret super soldier stuff, along with like the Illuminati to create these yet again super soldier secret agent stuff, and all of this stuff can like it's so.
I'm just like I'm trying to imagine like, oh shit, we accidentally screened our beta sex kitten programming movie with all these men, and now these dudes are in. We brought them all into this chamber, and they're all popping their pussies. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm picturing.
Look, the thing that I think like
We showed all these men fried green tomatoes, and we showed all these women Braveheart, and we fucked the whole thing up.
Yeah, the thing that I feel like I have
I
that
liked fried green tomatoes.
kind of
Hey, me
undercuts
too.
the bit, but is important to note is like all of this stuff is like inundating you over a long period of time. It's not
Sure.
It's not
It
like you
doesn't
watch
instantly-
one movie and you instantly are like I've got to fucking go. Like
Yeah.
it is like a continual process because this is about the mass control of
Sure.
the populace. So a lot of us don't get a lot of delta programming unless there's a part of this that I mentioned briefly last episode about the kind of shotgun approach to kind of the like secret agent type stuff, the sleeper agent type stuff, where basically there's a theory that all of these things, this type of programming is just being blasted out into the world at all times, and with the implicit reason being that certain people who are more prone to mental illness or being like susceptible to these types of ideas will crack over time and cause public disruptions that keeps the status quo in power. So that is the shotgun approach of like, they're not trying to kill someone specifically. They're trying to cause aggression in the populace or, you know, whatever programming you want to talk about in the populace because it helps to subsist the status quo.
God, this is just so stupid. But I love it. But this is
Which is
it's
basically
very
just
stupid.
like video games cause violence.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
basically the theory.
I mean, I do believe that to an extent, like culturally, we do kind of through osmosis, like pick up like our culture sort of changes as our media changes and vice versa. So that there's some reality to it, but it's not nearly as stupid as what these people are saying.
Yeah, I mean, and there is an impact of media on you. Like you do take
course.
things from it and everything, but I don't think there's like a concerted body that is trying to weave these things into the narrative of our lives.
Yeah,
That is influencing us in the ways of whatever programming, you know?
for sure. Yeah,
I don't think it's a controlled agenda. I think basically just like the U.S. government doesn't want the military to be shown as bad in movies, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the agenda.
yeah.
So there are other types of programming that just like alpha is your basic programming. It's just putting Illuminati symbolism in movies, like New World Order symbolism. It's basically just preparing you to be the normalization of these symbols for the eventual New World Order takeover, you know?
National treasure.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like anywhere you're
Da
seeing
Vinci Code.
I'm sure that we
Is
could,
it that explicit, or you mean like this
no,
is subtly
exactly
in the background?
That's,
Okay.
well, there is the explicit and the more the less explicit.
Yeah, like I'm fucking watching Horrible Bosses. And
Yeah.
there's
if you believe that, like, do these people like basically believe that all major media, like all media is just trying to do this? Like some people believe. There are some movies that I would love to ask those people their interpretations.
Yeah,
of.
like, could you explain to me what this is doing?
I mean, you could probably find people talk if you go on Illuminati movies.
But they don't
or
think
whatever.
any movies have started to accidentally get made because there is an industry. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure that there are people on like the independent scale, but even they have been indoctrinated by these things over time that now they're putting forth things like I feel like there is an element of self-perpetuating system. That is me. That's not a thing that I've explicitly read into because
Yeah.
I haven't researched the opinion of these types of websites on like, micro budget indies.
Yeah.
Like people making.
I'm sorry, you didn't come prepared. Then.
Yeah, sorry, I fucked up. So, but I do know that like there's a thing that I wish I would have brought with me. There's an article that was all about the like programming inside of the movie Cowboys versus Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
Because
seen
that's-
that?
No. I
Okay.
haven't seen the movie.
That is pretty explicitly
Yeah. Maybe we'll watch
conspiracy
that for bonus
theory
content or
shit.
something.
I think I've recommended that to you guys for the
Oh,
Patreon
yeah, yeah.
before because
I'm down.
I saw that shit in theaters and it is absolutely trying to indoctrinate you into thinking that like Harrison Ford gives a shit about his career. No, there is some like
That's
real
like Harrison
conspiracy.
Ford and Daniel Craig, right?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
that's why I saw it in theaters.
Yeah. So let's talk real quickly about a couple other things of programming. There's theta programming, which is your psychic powers, your paranormal stuff. So that's stuff like X-Men and Heroes. Also, alternately, Men Who Stare at Goats, Matrix.
Stranger Things.
Sure, yeah, probably.
I guess not movie, but
And then
Yeah, shows count, right?
yeah,
You said
it's
books count,
all
so-
over the place. Then there is, let's see, there's delta gamma programming, which is basically they're trying to protect the Illuminati scheme by creating misinformation agents. So this is movies about conspiracy theories, including the movie Conspiracy Theory, along with like using the works of like Alex Jones and David Icke as misinformation agents.
Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah. So here's the list of movies they give: Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider, National Treasure, The Conversation, Conspiracy Theory, Enemy of the State, 12 Monkeys.
oh, wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Eclectic.
But those all have like a common thread of like this
Sure,
conspiracy at the
yeah.
center of them.
I literally I tied you guys to a chair and made you watch Enemy of the State.
You did.
because
so
you do
you're-
this podcast. So
Yeah.
Enemy of the State's the one with Gene Hackman and Will Smith.
Yeah.
Jack Black is in it. We watched it multiple years ago now,
Yeah.
but I recommended it to you guys.
It's a fun movie.
I definitely remember doing this. I wish I could remember the movie.
Then there is Omega programming, which is to make people prone to self-destruction. Like in case basically things go wrong, they can make you self-destruct. This is stuff like the Butterfly Effect, Final Destination, The Omega Man, I Am Legend, Donnie Darko, Dark Matters, Days Without Youth, The Aviator, and Jacob's Ladder.
The Aviator, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then there's
That's definitely not just like a real story about a real
yeah,
guy.
it's definitely not just a biopic.
like
they ever just make movies that are like you watch it and it's so bad you want to self-destruct?
Like Freddy Got Fingered. Yeah. Why is that the only one that came to mind?
No,
Anyway.
I like that. That's the only one that came. That's the worst thing you could possibly think of is Freddy
High
Got
Rise. Fucking
Fingered. How about Todd Phillips' whole filmography?
Rambo: The Last Blood. So then there's Chai programming, which is basically a return to cult programming that lets you. It's basically a thing to try to reinstill the ideology back into you if things kind of start to unravel. Because we talked about last week how at age 30 your brain for some reason starts to reject this programming, and they have to like kind of reinstill it into you. So this would be like basically to get you to come back so they can put you back into like the fucking Alice in Wonderland ride at Disney World, you
Yeah,
know, or
yeah.
through It's a Small World.
This is Disney adults.
Yeah, exactly. This is this might as well be given to you with like a Disney park pass,
Yeah.
you know, and so that is stuff like this is a fucking weird thing. Supposedly this is symbolized by 3 lines, so it can be found in stuff like X-Men where he has 3 claws, where Wolverine has 3 claws, along with
Makes perfect sense. To me.
the three lines being one of the major clues in 7, and also it says it's prominently featured in the movie 100 Feet, which I had to look up. It's a 2008 horror movie starring Famke Janssen and Bobby Cannavale.
100
Sure.
feet. Are you sure Quentin Tarantino didn't direct it?
I hear he's into that.
And look, overseas it was released as 33 meters, so it's
I'm not aware of this one.
I had to look it up. It's a movie that nobody has seen. It's not important. The last one is Epsilon programming, which is used to create animal alters. Yet again, X-Men franchise, where the age of mutants is depicted as brought about by a natural leap in evolution. So turns out if you watch X-Men, you're pretty well indoctrinated because it seems to be tied into like all of this programming.
That sounds right to me.
What?
I mean, you did watch Logan, and you were like, I feel off now. I feel bad. You know?
What is the purpose of a thing like, say, Morbius, the living vampire? Oh, sorry, the movie's just called Morbius.
We could try to dissect. That really would have been a pretty decent big question for this episode. Just bring a movie and have us dissect the programming inside of it. And maybe we'll do that. But Morbius, I feel like you'd get your paranormal stuff, your like supernatural powers. That's part of it. So that was what was the supernatural powers? That was theta programming, I believe.
Tennis balls really good.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is he throws around. We watched that movie. I'm revealing that to the whole world right now, and I'm a little embarrassed about it.
Yeah, I'm not. I
Didn't
feel
you promote that you did that on this
We did.
podcast?
If you want to listen to that,
You
check
guys,
out.
that wasn't like a prank you pulled on me that I had a microphone that whole time that we watched that.
We
was
didn't
it?
actually release that anywhere. We just were trying to get you to.
That wasn't
do it.
plugged into anything. You just were like, yeah, tell your little jokes, Julia.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Patreon.com/itgetsweird. If you want to check out our live commentary for the hit film Morbius.
You can listen, like I would love somebody to like pinpoint the exact moment that like all of our will to live like left our bodies.
Do
Like,
you want to know where mine is?
I feel like we started pretty high energy that day though, and I remember the feeling of just melting into the couch.
I know where mine was because I reviewed some of that audio, and mine is when I stopped talking as much.
Yeah, there were a couple times I would turn and be like, "What do you think, Kyle?"
Yeah.
Because you just were like staring at the screen,
Which
how
was
is this
kinda,
happening?
That was kind of the bit of that was that I knew Kyle would have the lowest tolerance for it of all of us. And it's fun to try to subject Kyle to like mass culture because you are bereft of it.
It's the boredom factor is the problem I have. If that had been an excitingly bad movie, I would have said more things, but I got really bored.
Offense really is that it's boring.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So you might look at like why all this happens. Like what are they trying to accomplish? What is this method? Basically, there are in the Monarch movie narrative, as they like to call it, all of the people behind the movies that are directing it, editing it, all of this stuff. They only list direction and editing, but I'm assuming sound design and stuff would be in there as well, along with like
Costume design,
yeah,
makeup.
like all of this stuff.
All your major Oscar categories.
Yeah, all those technical Oscars that you just ignore because they do them at a separate ceremony, they're programming you.
I thought actors were the movies.
I mean, hey, you're right.
Okay.
So
I thought Al Pacino made Scarface.
Yeah.
he did. He's the sole creative force behind Scarface.
Hooah.
So all of the stuff is basically the script is framed by subliminal messages that tell you everything you need to know. Then that is given the images of the movie, and all of this stuff is basically set up to install a package into your mind, into the collective mind of the population, which can be likened to software because that's a really easy metaphor for conspiracy theorists to try to use because it sounds scary because it's like computer viruses.
I know I already said it, but our brains are not like computers, and anybody who says that is a fucking idiot.
But
what does it mean for this whole little song and dance that we're doing?
Mhm.
That like we're as a society we are at like the lowest amount of people going to movie theaters like ever.
streaming.
But part of what you were saying was like sitting in the dark with a group of people eating sugary snacks is part of what indoctrinates you. So like
this is me just fucking going straight off the dome.
if I just have like my hand down my pants watching Netflix on my couch, am I getting the full indoctrination?
Think about the model of streaming services versus a movie theater. In a movie theater, you're giving more of your attention and more fullness of your being to it, but you're only seeing a movie. When you're on streaming, you're binging everything. You're binging the stuff over and over and over again, and you're binging all this stuff, and you're putting a lot of hours of content. And even if you're paying less attention, you're then consuming more content, which will even out the kind of it'll all come out in the wash. I think.
I think that Netflix's what's the word I'm looking for?
Movies.
UI.
Oh.
That like You know how it's a thing that everybody says that they spend more time scrolling on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
I think now they're going to indoctrinate you with the scrolling through the menu instead of actually having to
almost
even
certainly.
watch the movies. You just have to see all the posters.
Okay.
And that's why Netflix targets the posters at you.
And they put out so much bullshit that cost them nothing to make.
Yep.
And nobody watches, but it's there in case you check.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm all in on this.
this is really good. So all of this is basically implanting triggers that your handlers can then use and cause you to do stuff with.
And
so
the handlers aren't indoctrinated?
I mean,
don't watch
they're
movies?
they're intended. They're like allies of this organization that's doing this all to us. So they're like they
They're
probably
watching
have-
Paul.
Yeah, they went through all the same Disney rides, but they did it willingly.
These
you know?
people must these people have to freak the fuck out when they saw like Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised I don't have more. I think I do have my. Actually, I don't know if Fincher comes in on this. We're about to start talking about actual directors, which is
Nice.
was my favorite part of this whole thing.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. So honestly, we'll just get into that. Like they talk about how there are these different roles they're trying to get you into. You have your alphas, your societal engineers. You have your betas, your sex agents. You have your assassins, who are the deltas. So all this stuff is just the different types of programming and different types of roles that you can be put into, because this is like a TF2 type game. There's different roles that you can take on, because they have to have like, a balanced team to get the payload across the finish line.
Yeah, the medic primarily works with the beta sex kittens.
Yeah. So why are they going public? So we talk about this is the thing that we've been talking about throughout basically the history of the podcast, about like, if this stuff is happening, like, why are they doing it so blatantly in the public? Like, why is it so like?
And why does it barely seem to work?
I mean, it's whatever. They're working on it. They're
You
ironing
only
out the kinks.
perceive it as barely working because you've been so thoroughly indoctrinated.
That's fair. You only use 20% of your brain.
I only use 10% of mine.
you only use 10% of your brain. The 90% is movie indoctrination.
Mhm.
So here is where they start talking about Christopher Nolan.
Nice.
Thank Christ.
Because there's
I was waiting for that.
because he is an Illuminati filmmaker, as are a lot of other ones.
Yeah.
And the whole thing of why they're making this more overt and more public is because they need new alphas to fill their ranks in their pyramid of power, in their echelons, their system. They need alphas that will be agents for the structure of this whole thing, to instill the programming in other people, and basically they need foot soldiers for this thing.
Okay, Nolan's an alpha, is he?
No, well, Nolan is a filmmaker that is instilling this stuff in his films, because he actually he exposes some of the Monarch methodology in his film Inception, which is I like this little bit of editorialization by the website I was looking at, that he said this with Inception, which along with a lot of clutter reveals that the current level of mind control technology. So
that's their little review of the movie.
Yeah, there's some fluff in it.
They
But
could have gotten to the point of the mind
You could
control
have
a
cut
little
15
quicker.
minutes out of this film.
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought Tom Hardy was a bit over the top.
Yeah, you don't really need him. So I do like that Inception is supposedly both a metaphor for film production and also a movie that's explaining Monarch mind control. I almost feel like there's some through line to that of how you can read all of this stuff as just like people not taking entertainment in good faith.
Yeah, people like so much stuff that comes out about stuff like this. All of the movies that people use as an example of like, I see a conspiracy in this, is because they just are not willing to engage with it as art and engage with the main metaphor of the movie.
I went on a big rant about this with the pop star stuff last week.
It's art, and you're like, it's so frustrating.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating to me.
Because no one is just creating things that they find meaningful. People are indoctrinating you with stuff that is a secret cabal.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something. Maybe this is controversial. Some people are simply incapable of experiencing art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that. I think you're onto something. But that's why Inception is going to tell you all about it. So
Yeah, of course. Let's get back to the art of Inception.
because if you think about it, Inception is just trying to instill an idea into your dream state and have it invade your consciousness, which is what all of the Monarch programming is doing. Nolan does give away a few things, such as like how for Inception to take hold, it has to be tied to an emotionally charged subject in your past, usually early family relations, which is another thing with Monarch programming. It's you have to get in early and you have to tie it into an emotional stimulus, basically, to make it really sink into the mind. Then we're gonna.
How much do you actually remember that about Inception? I know you're reading this, but like,
he ties.
I'm wondering. I'm asking you personally.
I remember that it's about like they basically have to make the guy believe that it's better for him to build something on his own than to just inherit his family's company. So he like basically breaks up the monopoly of the company so he can start his own thing and become like fulfill his own ambitions that would make his father proud instead of just taking over the family conglomerate, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of a deeper thing to it. But I just was wondering, because we actually talk about Inception a decent amount in our personal lives. It comes up a lot, I feel like, when we're talking about movies. And I think I've seen it way more times than you have.
Yes. I've seen it like probably 4 times, but
I've seen it more than that.
Yeah.
I saw it once in theaters and never looked back.
So, oh, wow, really? Okay. So let's go ahead and keep going on some other stuff, because Inception is basically trying to get people to have interest in joining the Monarch program. And there are a lot of other films and filmmakers and stuff that we're going to talk about and how they have Monarch programming in their movies. And the best place to start here is with George Lucas.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So George Lucas, who is
What'd he do?
Well, he did American Graffiti.
Oh.
Wow, that was not planned. So we are going to be talking about Star Wars here, because that is the
little
big
film
one.
called A Star Wars.
That guy, right.
And now I do want to know if they're fans of the original versions, or if they like the special editions, or some of the later ones. All the CGI.
They like the one when Snai Snoodles CGI sings in the cantina.
Oh yeah,
They
is
love
that the actual
that
name?
one. Yeah, it's Snai Snoodles.
Okay,
I know that because of my cousin. My cousins were big
I
Star
like
Wars
Max
nerds.
Rebo.
Max Rebo's pretty good. He plays jizz music.
That's right.
Yeah. So, the Star Wars sextology, as they call it.
I would love to know on a stat for like comedy podcasts, the average amount of seconds it takes for Star Wars to get brought up, and then for someone to say that jazz is called jizz. Like every time. What's the average? 3 seconds? 5 seconds?
Probably sub 10.
I will say I didn't play it so much as comedy, more just like yes, let's get it out of the way.
He plays
we can move
jizz,
on. He plays jizz. Okay, let's
that's
go.
what it's called.
And honestly, it's just like you have to say it. It's like the intro to your podcast. You just have to, if you say Star Wars, you have to go. The movie that popularized jizz music.
And if you're somehow not aware of this fact, and there's people out there who don't really watch Star Wars, go ahead and Google jizz. You'll you'll figure it out.
Yeah, dude, give that a quick.
You'll
Google.
figure it out.
So.
One way or another.
You'll get there.
This just really made me laugh. Supposedly, the Star Wars sextology, which they describe as George Lucas's lifetime achievement.
We're talking episodes 1 through 6.
Yeah,
all 6.
Yep.
Okay.
It fosters several groundbreaking new developments in the mind control community. First of all,
well, of course, Obi-Wan does that fucked up thing to that stormtrooper that one time.
The Jedi mind control,
these
Jedi
are
mind
not
trick.
the droids you're looking for. Does it ring a bell?
You're about 10 seconds ahead of me. We're going to talk about the Jedi mind trick.
Oh, hello there.
First, we have to establish that the Jedi Knights are actually a real thing.
Of course,
they're a group of clerical warriors, or there's a Hindu term called Brahmakshatriya, I think. That
sounds right.
Is that you can actually, if you're in the Illuminati, you can go to Fort Bragg and become a Jedi Knight.
Oh, wow.
And learn how to do the Jedi mind trick, which is actually an aggressive form of neurolinguistic programming that you can do in real life if you're a Jedi Knight.
I'd like to go back like just a second.
Yeah.
Just because I am a woman who's on this podcast. I know that it's called a Jedi mind trick. I was being funny earlier. Yeah. I just feel like because you corrected me and told me it was a Jedi, which is fine.
Oh, I was just saying.
But I just want to be on record that I said that fucked up thing Obi-Wan does.
Yeah.
I do know it's called a Jedi.
No, that was a good. It was a good bit. I was just trying to move.
I've seen Star Wars.
I was trying to keep the podcast moving about the.
I googled jizz.
Oh,
You did. I honestly think you've watched Star Wars more recently than I have.
I probably have.
Yeah.
oh, you like, Jedi mind tricks? Name 10 of your favorites in the movies.
What if my number one was Rey telling the stormtrooper?
That one is
That
so
automatically
good.
invalidates. No,
That's-
I was going to say it invalidates my opinion.
Oh,
That's not part of the
Because
original sextology.
Because how did she do that? She never even trained as a
I
Jedi.
liked when Obi-Wan jumped in the middle, in between like General Grievous and everybody, and was like, "Hello there." That was a good Jedi mind trick. That one they didn't see coming.
I feel like you got a hello there in there earlier that we kind of skimmed over, and I feel like you were like, "This is my chance."
we gotta
Everyone's
get this
listening
back
to me
in there.
now.
I'm gonna bring that up every time I possibly can fucking fit it in. So
Good.
So we now get to go from a little bit of George
Wouldn't it be
Lucas.
kind of great if I knew Max Rebo, but I didn't know Jedi mind tricks?
That would be really great.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the Jedi Knights and the Star Wars inspired a filmmaker, one James Cameron, who also became a Monarch filmmaker, using his alter ego Jack Dawson, and he became a bit of a problem. This is the topic. This is the meat of this that I
Yeah, he
wanted to get
did.
into because I love this as a concept. There's a concept in the Monarch Hollywood stuff where they talk about the Illuminati's philosophy of twinning. And what that means is they're basically
There's a Danny DeVito and an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
you're not far off.
Oh.
It is where they have two filmmakers who are taking basically this, trying to instill the same programming in their movies at the same time and like running parallel to each other, but in different methods, and are like kind of different filmmakers. And so James Cameron and George Lucas became twins in the Illuminati control stuff.
Whatever.
And we're going to talk about some more twinning stuff here in a second with some different filmmakers, which is this is why I wanted you on the podcast, because you and I both listen to a podcast about directors and stuff, and talk about directors a lot. And I think the way that we talk about both the directors kind of moving in parallel with each other and like eras, because like they do bring up in here at some point the concept of like Tarantino and Rodriguez as twins. Where that is kind of a thing that came from their friendship and the Grindhouse stuff, but they don't really have a lot, and From Dusk Till Dawn and stuff, so they have some parallel stuff, but like it kind of just seems like it feels like they saw Deep Impact and fucking Armageddon coming out at the same time, and we're like, I think we got to deal with that somehow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they came up with this whole thing that ties into like fucking Cain and Abel in the Illuminati mythos. And it's fantastic.
For sure.
Jesus.
So we're going to talk about twinning. So we have James Cameron, who is a bit of the bad boy in the twin ship. There's a thing where you have the guy that is more like just willing to do the programming, willing to like put in the work. He's the workman. He's just doing the stuff. He's doing all of the symbolism needs to get out there. And then you have the bad boy that kind of like bucks the programming a little bit and like kind of
Takes
spins
10
it a little
years
bit.
to put out his Avatar sequel.
Yeah. Well,
you've got your Steven Spielbergs and your Martin Scorsese's. Steven Spielberg is straight down the middle.
well, that's not Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg is not Martin Scorsese's twin.
No, okay.
That would be
Who Martin Scorsese's twin is?
yeah.
Let me think. Can I think for a
You
second?
can.
I like this game.
Yeah.
This should be like a card game. Who's his reflection? Is it someone who I would know?
It's a filmmaker you would definitely know. It's a famous film. All of these are like very famous filmmakers. I don't know if I would like. I kind of get where this is coming from.
Robert Altman.
No. You're going too movie buff. You got to think like the most famous filmmakers in the world.
Oh, okay. Big name people.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Someone who's still a big name now?
Yes.
Okay. So
Doesn't make
because
a
I was
lot of-
thinking like 70s.
Doesn't
people.
make a lot of big names now, but their big thing is considered one of the greatest.
Oh wow.
Oh, fuck. I think I know who it is.
I was gonna say Francis Ford Coppola.
That's who okay, we were all on the same.
Yep, Martin
Coppola, huh?
Scorsese
Nice.
and Francis Ford Coppola.
Nice.
So, yeah, there is stuff. Just to finish up Cameron real quick. Cameron did work on Terminator, which led to Schwarzenegger becoming a politician and shit. So he's all programmed. And he's bucking the program because Terminator was kind of a rogue operation where he was supposed to be doing. Basically, he was supposed to be making stuff that doesn't make you terrified of the New World Order, and he instead twisted it and made you afraid of the New World Order effectively.
It's almost like most media makes it seem like these things are bad, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You would think so.
Anyway.
But then he did make Avatar, which romanticized dissociation from self and a willful transformation into these celestial beings.
And what was Titanic?
Titanic was his alter ego, where he used his alter ego. So, okay.
They're saying his alter ego is Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie?
Yes.
Why?
The fuck?
They do not really say.
That seems very strange to me.
It seems like it's entirely
Made up?
Yeah, where it has actually no bearing on anything.
I can't believe, sorry, every time I think about James Cameron, I can't believe that he made Terminator, Aliens, but also Avatar and Titanic.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? What's going on? I'm sorry, I'm a hater.
You have to look at Cameron.
I'm an absolute hater with Avatar, but I gotta say, Titanic?
I'm a Titanic hater.
You've seen Titanic?
Yes. Multiple times.
The thing you gotta understand about Cameron is he starts with like, I want to make new technology and break ground on film technique, and then he figures the movie out afterwards. And a lot of times it starts with, I want to be in the ocean, and then he figures the movie out afterwards.
Yeah, that actually is like 90% of his filmography. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if I could just be in the ocean like all the time?
And isn't space like a big ocean?
Yeah, space is just like the ocean of the sky.
Which is why Avatar 2 is the way of the water or whatever the fuck.
I do have to credit him for showing me my first pair of breasts, though.
Really?
In Titanic.
Interesting. Okay.
I peeked. My parents made me look away, and I.
Is that the last time you've seen Titanic?
No. Yeah.
I
No,
genuinely
you're gonna say,
asking-
is that the last time
no.
you've
seen
breasts?
breasts, which probably.
Fuck you. No. I watched it since then. I can't remember what context. It's been a couple years, but I remember being like, "Wow, this is technically well made," but Leonardo DiCaprio's performance isn't very good, and
Wow.
the movie is
We're
fucking
shooting,
boring.
dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm a hater.
No, you're
what can I
okay.
say? Sometimes
I'm
I'm
an
a
absolute
hater. Sometimes I'm a hater.
So Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese were basically tasked with just like, hey, we got to get some Delta programming movies out there.
Which one of them is the bad boy?
That
It's
would
Marty.
be, I think it is Marty.
I feel like you could make an argument for either one. This is
Yeah.
my
You
thing.
could.
But
I would like to think of Marty as the bad boy, but we did. You literally used Aviator as an example earlier of like, this is good programming.
Yeah, but you also like they specifically Delta stuff is Taxi Driver and Apocalypse Now are kind of their big ones for Delta programming, and then they kind of continued out with like basically. I think this version of Martin Scorsese also kind of ignores anything not about the West. I don't think they really deal with like. I don't think they wrap Silence and Kundun into this theory.
Yeah.
And what do they think about his short films? The one where he shaves in front of a mirror for 5 minutes and
Well, that's about self-destruction.
oh,
'cause he
okay.
cuts himself
Sorry,
with
you
a
caught
razor.
me. I thought I was gonna get you. You're right.
So before we get more into filmmakers, I have to just go through some history of twinning methodology and Illuminati because it's buck wild. So they employ a concept called twinning to all aspects of their works. The IMF and the World Bank are twin organizations that are tasked with different aspects of the same economic agenda. And it's basically, it feels like it's just trying to like make things fly under the radar more by having two separate organizations that are seemingly unlinked, but actually are operating to the same ends.
You got your KFC and your Popeyes.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your CVS and your Walgreens.
That's right.
But they also have a place that directly embodied this was the World Trade Center with the Twin Towers.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that stuff is also tied into the Monarch Mind Control programming stuff.
That's awesome.
Wow. I had to. I've been
You
just
didn't
thinking,
tell me this was cool.
I had to. I can't believe I didn't assume that 9/11 would get tied into this.
Oh yeah, 9/11 did get tied into this, but this whole concept of twinning goes all the way back into history with people such as Cain and Abel, Romulus and Remus, who founded ancient Greece or Rome. Sorry, Rome. And also, it's found in.
Can you imagine if Romulus founded Greece?
Look, I'm shooting from the hip here.
Romulus and Grimace.
Shut up.
Everybody knows that Greece was
Romulus and Grimace. Yeah.
Greekulus.
Yeah.
It's so also can be found in the Sumerian epic Gilgamesh and in the Iliad. Between the close brotherhood of two men or almost identical entities who produce perpetual synergy and makes them capable of exercising more power than the sum of their combined efforts, which is like an unhinged description of like, I feel like they took those two ancient things and were just like, we got to find a way to combine these two. So they kept just like taking out specifics until all they had left was just like the most generic verbiage.
Yeah. Like
storytelling.
Abstracted out. Yeah. Jesus.
So you've got all those stuff.
Your Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
They're dead. Now we also have more concepts of twinning. I'm gonna go. So here's the thing. I've got another twin.
Jesus,
I'm gonna give you one
Pontius
of them,
Pilate.
and you're gonna guess the other one.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give you Ridley Scott.
I actually, if you had said it cold, I might have said James Cameron. So that's
Ridley Scott. Yeah, I
That's
mean
rough.
that does make sense, right? Like,
give me a little hint.
So here's the thing. They basically just talk about Ridley Scott in this thing.
Yeah.
After mentioning the other guy. The other guy is someone who
Do they make sci-fi movies?
We just watched one of their big movies recently.
You and I did?
Yeah. They
A sci-fi movie?
no.
Niall and I love to play games like this all the time. I feel weird that we're doing it on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a way to not just give it away.
I don't know.
For this, you kind of have to look at it with like Ridley Scott's more like crime fair and stuff, less the sci-fi things, even though they talk about sci-fi stuff.
Okay. Give me a hint about the movie.
It's a two-hander with.
I really feel like
it's a
we're
remake of a TV show
exposing way too much of our my personality.
that also was created by the same person.
Michael Mann?
Oh, Michael Mann.
Did we? Oh my God.
Michael Mann.
You guys
we
are
keep
twins.
realizing
You
it at
guys
the
are
same time.
twins now.
Kyle and I are
God.
twinning.
So
You would think it would be the two of you, but no, it's me and Kyle.
yeah,
What? This is Michael Mann, really?
Do you know what
Yep.
movie he's talking about that we just watched?
I don't know what you watched.
He was giving me a hint about a movie we watched.
Oh,
Based on a TV show, Michael Mann movie, two-handed.
and he also made the TV show.
We just watched it for the first time the other day.
oh no.
Miami Vice.
Oh,
we watched
okay.
the other day
okay.
for the first
I see.
time.
Yeah.
I've never seen Miami
Really
Vice,
good
Good
actually.
movie. Pretty good. You like Colin Farrell?
I like Colin Farrell.
Do you like Michael Mann movies?
I liked Heat.
Quit fucking dicking around and watch Miami Vice then. I don't know
Okay,
what to
I'll
tell
check
you.
it out.
So in this case, Ridley Scott is the defiant one. He
Michael Mann's not the defiant one. Come
That's
on.
fucked up.
Come on. He made Thief.
I mean, you're right, but in this case, so he kind of got his way into
guess
the whole
Blade
Illuminati
Runner.
stuff. We will talk about Blade Runner. Alien was kind of his like his. Basically, he got his blank check in the Illuminati after making Alien.
Yeah.
They were like,
I can
"Oh,
see
this is
that.
really interesting. So we're going to make you do a screen adaptation of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?"
So
Are
wait,
they
is-
the ones who made him edit Sigourney's pubes out of that movie?
Probably.
Cowards.
luckily I got to do that.
You edited
That
the pubes?
yeah, I did that.
You did.
I
you
was
did
the
that?
yeah. If you look in the credits list, it does say pube editor Kyle.
Do you know about that?
I have seen that going around.
I love her. I love Sigourney
I
Weaver.
think I am fully with the release the pube cut.
She's an absolute queen.
Yeah. So Blade Runner is a classic Omega programming device, but Ridley Scott did take it in some wrong directions, quote unquote,
Then why'd they let him make another one?
Because
And another one.
I don't know. Because they kind of reined him in, I guess. But they basically are saying that all of the various edits of Blade Runner are because they were trying to get the Monarch programming under control and get the whatever they're trying to get a cut that would basically rein him in and make him do the stuff he was supposed to do in this movie. So the final cut or the whatever, there's the director's, there's the theatrical, the director's, the like editor's cut or whatever the fuck. And then there's the final cut that is the one that I guess the Illuminati approves of.
And there's the only one that I've ever seen, which is the really awesome one with the Harrison Ford monologue. Love that
That's
one.
the theatrical. So yeah, that's a thing. So here's the thing. They say that all of the changes happened after a quote unquote rigged audience screening, that they then added all of the stuff that would, because he went rogue, they added the stuff that made the movie tank, that people hated, like the voiceover, the artificial ending, all this stuff. And then because of the failure, they're basically just like, you got to get it under control. So then they let him like take that stuff out for the re-release after he basically fell in step with the Illuminati programming. So
sure.
Yeah, it's
Is this also
basically
what happened with Spielberg with Close Encounters?
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have that specifically here because we go more modern after this.
Do you know about that with Close Encounters? Have
no.
you ever seen Close Encounters of the Third?
Yeah. I love that movie.
I should have
So,
brought my
Which
my
ending
poster.
have you seen? Have you seen the one where like there's an extended thing at the end where he gets on the spaceship?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that
so
not?
in the original cut of the movie, it cuts before he gets on the spaceship. You see the aliens land and everything, but he doesn't get on.
Oh, really?
And then when the movie was a success in its theatrical release and they made enough money, they let Spielberg go back and add the ending where
Why-
he gets on the spaceship.
Why wasn't it originally?
Because they were rushing production and blah, blah,
Oh,
but
wow.
according to
Okay.
this, because the Illuminati didn't
Right,
want him
sorry,
to get on the spaceship or whatever.
Yeah.
So then they let him get on the spaceship. But then, since then, Spielberg has now said that the original ending where he doesn't get on the spaceship is better and is the intended.
Oh, okay,
And
interesting.
You shouldn't watch the one where he gets.
Oh
on the
no, I've only ever seen the one where he gets on the spaceship.
Yeah.
I've got a box set with all of them, so you can watch whatever version you want. So next, I'll give you one more twinning to guess here, and the first person is that of one Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Didn't we?
We didn't do his twin yet. We just talked about Inception.
Is it
earlier.
another like franchise? Version?
It's
Yeah, kind of.
Have they done a franchise akin to a Batman?
I gotta
You know
look
what
up
I'm
the
talking about?
name.
Yes.
Tim Burton.
Nope.
Okay.
More modern.
More modern than Tim Burton, but he just made Dumbo.
I know, but he's older.
Come on, I think that was
Oh,
funny.
it was funny.
So younger than Tim Burton, you're saying?
I think so. I don't know. I can't give you
British?
I don't know how old he is. No.
Can I? This one, Michael Bay.
No.
That's not a bad guess.
That wouldn't be a bad guess.
That's not a bad guess. Give me another hint.
You were closer than you thought when you asked about the franchise stuff.
Oh, really? So
Yes.
someone who's done a big franchise.
Even more specific than that.
Someone who's done a Batman movie. Who?
Christopher Nolan.
He's his own twin. It's a twist.
Wait, so Tim Burton and not Christopher Nolan?
Not.
Friggin- what's the guy? What's his name?
I don't know. What?
I'm going through the Batman directors' names
Yeah.
now, but I can't remember the guy who did George Clooney. I don't remember his name.
No, not that
But
guy.
You're not talking him. You're not talking. We're not talking the Batman.
Oh, Leslie Martinson.
No.
Can't be
too,
that guy.
Too modern.
That's too modern. I'm going.
Oh,
too
sorry,
far.
modern.
There's too many Batman movies. Who are we talking about right now?
Matt.
What am I missing?
Reeves?
Who am I skipping?
No,
No,
that's
that's
the
the newest
Batman.
one. That's too modern.
you got to
to
go
say.
back one
Wait,
more
let
iteration.
me think about this. Let me clear my
Oh,
head. I have
know
to know
it
who
is.
this is.
I know who it is now. You got this.
Tim Burton. I'm going through.
Post-
We've got
it's-
Michael
hey,
Keaton.
you know-
We've got George Clooney. We've got Christian Bale.
What might help you is just taking like a blunt object and smacking yourself over the head a couple times. That might help you.
You got, or maybe start like a borderline hate campaign on the internet around this film.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Yep. Or as they call him here, Zack the Wizard Snyder.
That's ironic, right?
Yeah. So these guys are not only twins, but they're
Jesus
major
Christ.
competitors in the field of Monarch programming. Zack Snyder is mainly tasked with raising a Delta army of Anglo-Saxon culture warriors,
Woo!
whereas Chris Nolan is
That's
put
true.
in charge of alpha recruitment and basic training.
Now hold up though, because that's so fucking unfair to Nolan, and I'm not like the biggest Nolan fan, but like that is really unfair.
Wait, you're not?
I'm not. I'll fully admit
Believe
I'm
me,
not
I
crazy
know.
about Nolan. I know you guys have. I have to revisit some of his stuff to really
You don't
like
have to do anything.
Yeah.
that. You know what? Fair enough.
Go watch Insomnia, though. It's good.
I should.
I guess you have to do that according to that.
Yeah.
I should revisit his stuff just to see where I stand nowadays. But like 5-6 years ago, yeah, I'm not crazy about him.
So let's go ahead and get into some examples here. So there's a whole kind of Islamophobic thing about Dawn of the Living Dead.
I
which
forgot we were
going to
do that.
Cool.
Which is the first 5 seconds of the shot show some Muslims, which basically means that they're they're frightening zombies who are going to infect the world.
Cool.
Is what they believe. But there's also more fun. You got 300, which is very like West centric, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Anglo-Saxon centric. And has...
I do feel that 300 indoctrinated an entire generation of teenage boys.
It does say it's infamous for invoking crass racism and strong Nazi imagery to depict the Nordic-type Spartans as superior to the... this is their word, not mine. Mongrels of the East.
Sure.
So 300 is cited by European New Right bloggers and white supremacists like the ones who foster the Norwegian terrorist Anders Behring Breivik.
Broken clock.
This is madness.
Yeah. This is podcasting. So, however, that is the more like Delta big swinging dick kind of programming stuff here. Nolan has a bit more of a technical approach. He likes to mix his Delta programming in on various levels of his productions, namely the revived Batman franchise. So Batman Begins involves Batman working for the League of Shadows, who employ terrorism in order to prune entire civilizations. Ra's al Ghul, which is the name, is a combination of the Egyptian sun god Ra and Ghul, which means eater of human flesh.
Just because you're right doesn't mean that you should pronounce his name like that, because that's not how they say it in the movie.
Yeah, sorry. I honestly, that's just how I read it these days. They say they say Raz.
Raz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they're trying to get more in line with the actual Egyptian god.
Yeah. So he uses standard MK Ultra and Monarch devices to make Bruce Wayne comply, namely using the traumatic memory of the murder of his parents, which has caused a split in his personality. Batman, Bruce Wayne. Which one's the main personality? We don't know.
Twinning.
Yeah. So he then trains this like more violent side using in the classical Delta relationship between mentor and disciple, which I guess is just part of programming now. And eventually he breaks free from Raz's programming and tries to kill him. But from the Monarch perspective, the transformation is complete.
Is this also why Scarecrow's in all three movies?
Maybe. I don't know. He might be something in that.
What does the Joker represent?
I'm so glad you asked. Because in The Dark Knight, Batman does... now, they bring this up. There's a thing called an echelon, which is like a Monarch thing that is a big listening device that is what they're replicating with that like final scene where he taps in everybody's cell phones to find the Joker. So that's whole Monarch thing. But also, the Joker is a frequent character in Monarch storytelling, often seen dancing. He is the instigator.
Dancing down some stairs?
Dancing down some stairs, maybe. But he is the instigator or the handler who makes things happen by applying chaos and conflict to a placid condition, thereby bringing out the hero's potential.
He's just like a dog.
Yeah, chasing a car.
Chasing a car.
So yeah, the Joker is your your mentor or
Why
your
so
handler.
serious, Kyle?
Yeah.
Joker is, I don't know. It's just a thing that's transformed in my mind in the last couple years. And I'm frankly traumatized by Joker.
So you don't want to talk about the Joker? We'll talk about The Prestige then. Let's talk about The Prestige.
Great.
So
I'm fully prepared to talk about The Prestige.
In The Prestige, Nolan lays out the first part of a complete philosophy of mind control. However, he does reveal some ambiguity about his own role in the project.
This is the movie about the magician, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a meditation on the tricks of the trade and art of the illusion, but it is also an ethical inquiry into the cost of the Illuminati twinning program.
Oh! This is actually fascinating. All righty.
God.
Okay.
Yep.
Because the act is not the magic act, it's his life.
Jesus
Yep.
You
Christ.
see? Do you see?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Wow.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Christopher Nolan wrote the script together with his brother, Jonathan Nolan.
Yeah.
So a major theme in The Prestige is blood, sacrifice, and guilt.
So wait, is the dickhead version of Christian Bale supposed to be Zack Snyder?
I don't think
in that movie?
it's a specific...
You know what I'm saying?
No, there's not like no one's a stand-in for Snyder. It's just
I'm just saying it's about
sometimes there's a stand-in, sometimes there's not. It's really just when it's convenient to the whole thing.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So
This all is adding up perfectly in my mind.
yeah.
What is Michael Caine's role in all of this?
He would be the handler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd be your handler.
I'm
But
here to handle your
'cause he's-
programming, Batman.
Because he's in so many of these movies.
Oh,
True. Yeah.
I'm here to handle your Monarch programming, Mr. Prestige.
Oh man. So yeah, that is a whole thing. He does talk about the Zeta elements of the Illuminati programming in the Prestige, about how there's this human sacrifice cost of like all of these things. You know,
The Hugh Jackman of it all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hugh
that makes
Jackman of
sense.
it all, and really both sides, because you do get one of fucking
Christian Bale
Christian
dies.
Bale's guys died too.
Hey, if you haven't seen The Prestige,
Oh yeah, spoilers.
spoilers for The Prestige, a movie from like 2002 or whatever. It's so old.
Yeah.
Not old, but you know what I'm saying. Been out long
It's so
enough. You should
fucking
know that there's a big old
Movie.
twist. Shocking that the Christopher Nolan movie has a twist
That movie's so old.
where someone dies.
Yeah.
Here's another big spoiler for you. Someone's wife dies in that movie.
a couple.
Shocking.
A couple of them.
A couple
right?
wives die.
There's a couple wife deaths.
Like trigger warning wife death. For
I
Christopher
would have
Nolan's whole
loved.
filmography.
I would have genuinely loved that movie if the wives didn't die so much.
Yeah.
That was where you
That
really
was-
draw a line.
yeah.
You know, I don't care if there's violence against humans in movies, but when you do violence
need
against
to
a
talk.
wife, it's
Yeah.
too far.
Which
That's
really,
right.
honestly, you gotta love his coming around with Tenet, because he found a way to kill the same wife at the beginning and end of the same movie. It's really
Now
wonderful.
you're spoiling some modern shit here. That's daring of you.
Yeah, it's fine. That's not plot relevant.
In
so.
Interstellar, he does the wife death off screen though.
Oh my
True.
god,
That's
a
nice
wife
of him.
dies in it. What is this?
Of
dude's
course.
deal?
He kills a wife in like every movie.
I'm not sure that he has a movie without wife death. Does he? I genuinely don't think he does.
Insomnia does. Memento does.
They all do.
I haven't seen Dunkirk.
A follow-up question: is Christopher Nolan married?
Yes.
Yeah.
Happily
Okay,
married for
well,
quite a while.
His wife doesn't ask any
Well,
questions.
I can't
about
say
the-
happily specifically, but
No,
No,
I
we
know
know.
for a fact.
so yeah, that's a lot of it. I do have a little bit of stuff about the pro. So I don't know why I put in this part of it, but other than she's an actress, kind of.
That's such a good preamble.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I don't know why I did this.
So excited to hear this.
I just honestly,
She's an actress, kind of, too. Who are we talking about?
Roseanne does talk about mind control in interviews, specifically on.
She's an actress, kind of? Is that your
well,
take on Roseanne?
she's a comedian and an actress, and like more, which one is more than the other? Also, just kind of like
No, I think kind of an actress is actually a pretty good take on
Yeah.
Roseanne.
I put this in here just because I thought the concept of talking about Roseanne talking about Monarch Mind Control during a Larry King interview was kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
So sometimes you just like put stuff in your notes to kind of make yourself laugh.
You were popping yourself?
Yeah, this is really popping myself here. But there was a rundown courtesy of Vigilant Citizen of all the times Roseanne has talked about mind control in
God.
interviews.
Jesus Christ.
So that's how we're gonna wrap this up tonight.
Wonderful.
So let's see. She says that the CIA is where they started inducing it when. Okay, so here we go. So
Oh my God.
this is just the way that you can read this and hear Larry King trying to like keep
Yeah,
composure
for sure.
is wonderful. I really should have printed out 2 copies of this and had one of us play Larry King and one play Roseanne.
Oh my God.
Maybe for bonus content. So King says, all right, some say what you have or had as a serious psychological disorder. And she starts talking about mind control. She says, well, I have this head shrinker, and he says it's deliberately induced because the CIA is where they started inducing it when after they brought all the Nazis over from Germany to run American Psychiatric Association.
Oh no.
Yeah.
no. Kyle and I are really twinning.
We're
We're twinning it up.
I'm telling you the truth. It is all mind control and all kinds of things to invent people with multiple personalities. I believe the government has implanted some kind of chip into my head. And it is maybe monitored by Barbara Walters and some other women in Hollywood, including Oprah.
Sure. Why not?
There are women in Hollywood that are monitoring the mind control chips inside of Roseanne. And
Clip that.
yeah.
Oh my God.
We 100% are twinning. We both started a podcast with this one. We both fuck him as well.
I only do it when you're not looking though.
Exactly.
It keeps me busy. So
No, let's be honest. That's Garrett's job when I'm not around.
So I guess Roseanne has kept thousands of notebooks about herself that are all of her various personalities and stuff. So here,
Oh my
Larry King
God.
reads an excerpt from one of them. It says, so this is my life, my true Hollywood story. It's the story of a multifaceted girl, woman, boy poet, dancer, comedian, singer, freedom fighter, warrior, message bearer, performer, mother, sex partner, wife, actor, producer, director, pioneer, autistic child, survivor of post-traumatic stress, borderline bipolar, overweight, Tourette's sufferer, multiple personality disorder, obsessive compulsive victim of psychiatric planting of false memories, heretic witch, crone, take your pick. There's been about 300 diagnoses, which prove shrinks have been my only friends.
Santa, Buzz Lightyear, the Tool Man, Mike Baxter. Hey, I'm still that wisecracking kid from the Midwest looking for answers to life's big questions.
Yeah. Basically,
oh my God.
Roseanne has tried to tell the world all about the MK Ultra project and how she was, she also brings up like Michael Jackson was a member of it because Joe Jackson was a CIA MK Ultra operative. And on her website, you can find a lot of stuff written about this, talking about the Church of Satan.
What's this woman's name?
Roseanne Barr?
No, the one who's saying all this stuff.
Roseanne.
This is Roseanne. This is all from
We're
Roseanne.
talking Roseanne.
Did she ever like seek help?
Supposedly she has a lot of psychiatrists that she talks about. They're her only friends.
Because
Her head
this is
shrinkers.
this is fucked up.
Yeah. So like maybe this was a weird way to end this, but like
No, I think it's great.
the borderline of like the crossover between mental illness and conspiracy theory is more of a circle than some places
just
think it is.
That made me a little sad because like the things that she's saying there, and the way it's being said, I'm like, I have read this and heard this before.
Yeah.
And it's from people who really just gotta see someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was from a CNN interview on August 16th, 2001. So that was like before the reboot and everything.
And before she like blew up
Yeah.
and was doing all that stuff in the news.
Yeah. So she's probably said
She did
stuff since
9/11.
bringing it back around.
Yes.
All right.
Wow.
So on that note,
What the
let's go ahead and do a
fuck?
big question.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to take a director that we haven't talked about and
God
tell me
damn
who their twin would be and which one of them is the bad boy.
Oh boy.
I have an answer.
You have
I
an
was
answer?
thinking of two people this entire time that maybe are even too obvious. Maybe they should be more different.
Okay.
Can I just go?
Yeah, go for it.
Robert Eggers and Ari Aster.
I honestly
Oh
thought
my
of that
God.
They're doing it right now,
Wow.
and I think that Robert Eggers is the bad boy.
too. Why? What do you think?
Why you think Ari Aster is?
No, I'm just curious.
You seemed very shocked.
I'm just
I
wondering.
mean, just watch The Lighthouse. That's my whole thesis on this.
fair.
I think I feel that you look at Hereditary and Midsummer and you go like that's much like there are so many comparisons between Midsummer and Wicker Man and stuff like so many of the movies that we were already talking about, and I feel that like the Illuminati imagery is pretty explicit in Hereditary. Like I could go through that movie right now and find like so many
Because
examples.
that deals with like covens and stuff. So
Covens,
it's
witchcraft,
yeah.
like all sorts of shit like that. And like the ending of that movie, I feel is like so you could so easily write that as being indoctrinating the people watching it, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
And so there's that. But then the Robert Eggers side of things is a little bit more obfuscated, weird, and I feel easier for him to slip his little digs at it all in there.
Yeah.
You like Me Lobster?
Yeah,
don't you?
I think that's fun. It works because like that movie is like under this whole thing we've been talking about. The Lighthouse is twinning as a movie.
Yeah,
It is.
it's true.
Yeah, that's and which one's the bad boy? I guess Robert Pattinson. I don't know.
Yeah, because Willem Dafoe is the one who's like running the lighthouse. If we're talking about
Yeah.
like the lighthouse being the symbol of
Yeah. So Robert
and the
Pattinson
mermaid is the
bad boy.
handler.
Not the light.
The seagull.
Oh yeah, seagull. There you go.
The seagull's the handler, actually. Yeah, the seagull's the handler. For
We
sure.
figured this all out. Oh my
For
god.
sure. Okay. But I was thinking about them the whole time we were talking about this. That felt pretty straight up and down.
I might need
Yeah.
I might need an assist on mine.
Okay.
Someone to go with your first director that you're thinking
Well,
of?
the two that I thought of as possibly being twins, but is not quite right. But you might kind of see where I'm coming from when I say it. Ryan Johnson.
Okay.
And Wes Anderson.
Interesting.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I had one with Wes Anderson too, but I have a
okay.
different person.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm gonna say
I think
that
you both should go.
I think Ryan Johnson is the bad boy because he kind of was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do your Star Wars
He
movie.
did kind of fuck up the whole imagery of the Star Wars sexology.
Whereas Wes Anderson's just like, oh, let me play with my little pretty pastel places.
Is that what he sounds like?
I don't know what he sounds like. Let me make this land of cupcakes and pretty images, and I don't know what he fucking sounds like.
He sounds exactly like
Does
that.
he sound like
Yeah,
that?
that's what he sounds like.
He sounds like you. He just sounds like a
okay.
guy.
Yeah.
He's just like a dude.
Let me play with my pretty pastels and my land of cupcakes and quirky. I like some Wes Anderson stuff. I sound like I'm being mean.
Pretty much all of Wes
But
Anderson stuff
I've missed a
and
lot.
Ryan Johnson stuff.
Yeah. So, to me, Ryan Johnson has kind of like that quirky sensibility in some of the stuff, like in Brick and Brothers Bloom. But he's the bad boy.
I do feel like the imagery in Brothers Bloom and stuff like that. Knives Out, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is the one who also is just like, I'm gonna fuck with the Star Wars fans.
There you go.
I'm gonna fuck with them.
I'm gonna really like lay one out here for all of George Lucas's work back then to instill monarch imagery in the world.
Yeah.
Because he here's the thing, he undid the entire concept of Jedi Knights being an exclusive order.
Yeah. He
that-
upended the whole thing.
I will say Wes Anderson made Nazis cute in Grand Budapest Hotel.
True.
That is like a thing he did.
And those
I
were
mean,
some cute Nazis.
Yeah.
Like he pastelified Nazis. That's
he changed
wild.
the symbol a little bit, but yeah, he did. They're Nazis.
Who was your Wes Anderson?
I was gonna say Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay. Yeah.
PTA and the WA.
Yeah.
I for my first one was Paul W.S. Anderson
Yeah, I
and
was
Paul
gonna
Thomas
say
Anderson.
him too. Let's just get all the Andersons in there.
Because I feel like
Triplets.
you
Tripleting.
they're trying out some new things in the 21st century, trying out tripleting instead of
Get some
just
triplets going. Triplets is best.
I also could see PTA and Ryan Johnson.
I could too, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing. I think in that case the bad boy I think honestly I can't see myself saying Wes Anderson is the bad boy in anything.
Yeah.
That was
PTA
part of
is that was what I was thinking too. And with Paul W.S. Anderson, it would still be PTA that's the bad boy.
How about Paul Farrelly and Todd Phillips?
That's actually a good one.
Todd Phillips
I'm
did
very
the Joker,
smart.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the.
He's also a comedy director, though.
Yeah.
He's directed.
Right. He directed
Due
some
Date,
fucking whatever.
Hangover.
He's the Hangover.
Old School.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
Great
Works of modern filmmaking. I don't know. That's my guess. Like I feel like you could do either Anderson, but I feel like Wes Anderson and PTA have kind of their directions as filmmakers has followed a similar, like both of them have gone more and more into their own shit over the time period over their careers.
I think that's fair. I also think that like each of them in their own way have like a hyper specific way that they present the characters in their movies. Like like you can talk about like the symmetry in Wes Anderson and the pastelification of everyone and the specific costumes that everyone wears and stuff. But like when you watch a PTA movie, it also is like, yes, it's taking place in the real world, but it is a very specific aesthetic that he is creating for a version of that world.
Yeah.
That like doesn't exist in real life.
Would the Coen brothers be a better PTA?
Coen brothers and PTA, that's not
Now
bad.
the Coen brothers are twins with themselves, and
No, the Coen brothers are twins with the Safdie brothers.
No.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. And I'm gonna say it: the Safdie brothers are the bad boys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Judd Apatow's twin?
Fucking, I don't even know.
Jeb Apatow.
Who's the guy who directed W? What's his
Oh
name?
my god.
Fuck.
No. Actually, even better. Adam McKay and Judd Apatow.
Oh, for sure.
But I
100%,
wasn't thinking of
100%.
Adam McKay. I was thinking of the guy who did W, whose name I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about. I don't.
Oh my god. Okay, I was gonna make him twins.
We could do this forever.
Yeah,
I
this,
really
this
could.
could be the new
Podcast?
game.
I could sit and do this
The-
all day, baby.
Which it would be the worst podcast you've ever listened to. It's just us sitting here going, director. Oh my God, yeah, this one's the bad boy. So this is. I think on that note, we're gonna wrap this one up. I wanted to get through.
Can I say really quickly?
Yeah,
Actually,
you can.
I feel like
Absolutely.
Ari Aster and Jordan Peele might be better.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
I can see that. So yeah, hopefully this has been a fun journey through the world of
I had a
Monarch
good time.
Mind Control. The two arms of Monarch Mind Control. You've got your covert ops and your kind of culture side of things. And I'll probably touch back on this at some point because this topic fascinates me. But it was really fun to do. So I'm hoping everyone enjoyed it.
I love to talk about the movies.
I had a good time.
So let's go and take care of some business. If you want to find us, you can follow us on Twitter at IGW Podcast.
You can follow us on Facebook.com/It Gets Weird Podcast.
And we're on all your favorite podcatchers from Stitcher to Google Play to Apple Podcasts to Spotify. If you look up podcasts somewhere, look up It Gets Weird and we're probably there.
Email us at itgetsweirdpodcast@gmail.com. Who do you think are director twinsies?
Yeah.
Email us and let us know. Patreon.com/It Gets Weird. We have a $2 tier and a $5 tier. At the $2 tier, you get It Gets Weird TV, where we watch a weird TV show as a bonus show. We're currently on the very tail end of Gravity Falls. And then at the $5 tier, you get that show plus another show on the off weeks of It Gets Weird TV. So you're getting bonus content every single week at the $5 tier. Whether you donate to the $2 tier or the $5 tier, you get access to our mainline episodes 2 days early on Friday instead of Sunday. And you get access to our super cool Discord where we're all hanging out talking about our favorite director twins. We also have a $1 tier, which you don't get anything out of it. You're just saying, hey, I like your show. Here's a tip. And that's about it. And we appreciate it. If you can't donate, please tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your congressman all about It Gets Weird Podcast.
Jules, you want to plug anything?
I have a podcast called The Outside Dive where we talk about wrestling. It's been a fucking crazy week.
Has
I
anything-
talk about all elite wrestling on that podcast, and I will say, this is going up this week, right?
Yeah.
So this past weekend, AEW had a pay-per-view called All Out, and a man named CM Punk, I don't know, even if you don't know like wrestling, you might have heard of him. He went absolutely bug nuts. And our newest episode of Outside Dive that is up right now, that is live, covers all of it. So I feel like it actually is a pretty fun time to get into it.
First time I've ever had to censor you on an Outside Dive episode.
It's like, yeah, there's literally censorship at the end.
my God.
Because I go off about it. And
Can I hear the uncensored version?
yeah, absolutely. And so, check out The Outside Dive. We're on Twitter at Outside Divecast, and you can find us anywhere podcasts are found. And you're the co-host.
Yes, I also am co-host of this podcast, The Outside Dive. Check it out.
If you ever need a guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't had a guest yet,
let me
but we
know.
often reference you as a friend of the show.
I know. I do listen sometimes when I get the chance, and every time my name comes up, it's me. So
Thank you all for listening. Thank you for working to get us our first confirmed listener in Congress. That's the goal of the podcast this year.
yeah.
So keep that train running.
Next year is going to be first confirmed kill.
Thank you all for listening. This has been It Gets Weird. I've been Niall.
And I'm Kyle signing out.
Peace.